UCLA is a university with unlimited possibilities for students that desire world-class academics and research, unmatched diversity, incredible cultural and social opportunities, successful alumni and career networking, first-class campus facilities, plus America's top intercollegiate sports teams. Located in Westwood, just a few miles from the Pacific Ocean, UCLA's 1 square mile campus is surrounded by famous cities such as Bel Air, Beverly Hills, Brentwood, and Santa Monica.
Welcome to UCLA Bruin Talk. I'm Ralph Irvin along with Javrina Seferai. And this week we're taking you out to the links. We're talking golf with UCLA men's golf player Philip Francis, as well as senior women's golfers Ryann O'Toole and Maiya Tanaka.
UCLA is having a lot of exciting events. Let's take a look.
UCLA men's golf team won the national championship in 2008. Coming back in his sophomore season is sophomore Philip Francis. Philip was one of the top-ranked juniors, in fact, the #1 ranked junior for over 60 weeks, and was the winner of the U.S. Junior Amateur in 2006 at Rancho Santa Fe Golf Club. Philip, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
And let's talk about that NCAA championship. It was maybe a little bit of a surprise, but not a surprise of the leadership that you got from senior Kevin Chappell.
Yeah, it was definitely, I mean, it was one of the best experiences, I've had so far in my life. And to do it, my freshman year on the team was quite amazing. And, Kevin Chappell led us real well, and Derek did a great job his first year. And it was just a great experience.
It must have been an interesting transition for you to go from being an individual player your whole junior career to coming into a team and then having such great team success.
Yeah, we definitely, I went through some struggles during the year, just getting used to the whole team atmosphere and, having to actually go to class and organize all my time and, the whole college life in general. And it was definitely a good transition, though. It was something I needed to do. And, it was a great year. And to cap it off with a national championship, that just made it even better. So.
And the final day of the tournament, conditions were brutal, and you guys had to struggle just to win the championship.
Yeah, I mean,
must have been a relief.
Whenever it was a 4-day event, comes down to one shot with 5 players on your team, 4 scores counting. That's some pretty intense competition, obviously. And come down the last 4 or 5 holes the last day, it was something I've never really felt before, because it's not that if you screw up, only you screw up. If you individually screw up, you're hurting the rest of the team and possibly, taking them out of the championship. So it was definitely an added pressure because of being on the team.
And Philip, when you won, you guys actually got to go to the White House. Can you talk a little bit about that experience and what it was like?
That was a lot of fun. President Bush was he was actually really accommodating. He was a really cool guy. I mean, he sat down, he hit a couple putts with us and joked around with us, and it was a great experience. I mean, just to be able to say, I did that when I'm older, that's a true life experience. And we toured the White House. We met a lot of the other teams that were there, and got to know a lot of everyone that was there. And it was a really cool time.
Now, of course, that was last year. Now it's a totally different scenario. Mm-hmm. Not a freshman, now a sophomore. Don't have the same seniors on the team. How has that been for you adjusting so far?
This year's we didn't play as well as we would like to, in the fall. I feel like some of the freshmen are getting used to it and adjusting, just like I did last year. A lot of first years go through that, I think, with that, athletics. And I think this spring we should be pretty good. I think we'll have a chance at the national championship again. If we prepare accordingly for it, and I'm looking forward to it. So.
And talk about the difference. I mean, you have a fall schedule, which is kind of like a preseason schedule, if you will, because it's the spring schedule that leads to the national championship.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of nice because we only played 3 events in the fall, so we everyone got their their stuff together and academically, athletic, organizing their time. And in the spring, this is when all the hard work will start to pay off and show, because we did a lot over the off season, and physically we're all in very good shape, and we're gonna be ready for the spring.
So, Philip, your team hasn't played in a tournament since November, and you guys won't start until the mid of February.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing during this period? What kind of training?
Right now, I mean, we're working out a lot, doing a lot of cardio work, physical, training, and we have practice 4 or 5 days a week. And then, obviously, just because we don't have practice on the weekends doesn't mean we're not practicing. I mean, I go out with other guys and go to TPC and work on whatever I have to do. So it's definitely a lot of preparing and getting ready to defend our championship ring. So
people don't necessarily think of needing cardio for playing golf, but the fact is you don't have caddies, you're lugging around your clubs and playing, so you've got to be able to be physically fit while staying mentally fit.
I mean, the thing is, like, physical and mental tie right into each other, because as soon as you become physically tired, you're going to become mentally tired and start making unforced errors, basically. And that's what a lot of what we do is tied towards both of those, the mental and physical sides of the game. So it's really good, because I mean, you look at all the, a lot of the top tour players. Tiger Woods, he's, he got Athlete of the Year, in the ESPN, the ESPYs, and like, I mean, some of these golfers, they're in top physical shape. Camilo Villegas, I mean, looks like he's a bodybuilder, and it's definitely the golf is very much changing and evolving towards a more physical and athletics, towards that standpoint.
Now let's go back to your junior career. Ranked #1 as a junior, #1 recruit coming into college. How was that competing at that level while being so young?
It was definitely, I guess I was fed into it, and I had an awesome junior career, obviously, and it's just all about kind of moving up on the different levels and keeping on progressing in the way that I would like to. And last year I didn't play as well as I would have liked. Like I said, it was just a big transition. You're getting used to everything, and it didn't go as well as I would have liked. But everything happens for a reason, and I'm real positive about my game this year, and I think I can contribute heavily this spring. So,
being the #1 recruit, how did you choose UCLA? Why?
I felt it was the best combination of athletics, academics, from the social standpoint. I love California, I love the beach, love surfing, which I haven't done enough of, but it was between here and Oklahoma State, really. Those were my top 2 choices that I was looking at, and like, I didn't really see myself being in Oklahoma as an Oklahoma kid, so that was basically it.
Now, as a junior, one thing that you did was won the Junior Worlds 4 times and broke a record by a certain guy named Tiger Woods. That had to be pretty exciting for you.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, going into my 4th Junior World, like, it almost felt like I kind of owned the event, because I had won the 3 years prior and had a lot of confidence going into it, and shot back-to-back 65s my last 2 days to win by, I think, 4 over Jordan Cox, who's actually up at Stanford now. But that was definitely, I mean, something that's going to be on my wall post for a long time, I think. So.
Well, we mentioned Tiger Woods. You actually then went to his home course this fall with the team, playing at Isleworth.
Yeah, Isleworth was a great course. We actually saw Tiger and Elin a couple times, which was pretty cool. It's kind of weird that he's not playing right now, but I think he'll be back and ready for the future. But the course is great. A lot of good teams there, and the weather was pretty suspect, but you got to play in everything. So.
Your teammate Lucas Lee just signed, to be pro.
Yeah.
What are your aspirations? Would you like to go play pro?
Yeah, I mean, I have the same aspirations as Lucas does, and it's all in given time. I think everyone knows when they're ready, whether it's golf, basketball, football. Everyone knows when they're ready to compete at a pro level, and college is kind of a change into that and get you ready for it. So. I plan on finishing school, and from there, hopefully getting my tour card and becoming one of the best players in the world. So. Well,
let's talk about your game then. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses on the course?
My short game has always been a strength, because I mean, when I was a little kid, I was shorter than I was half the size of everyone else I was playing against, and I actually moved up in age groups when I was younger to play against bigger kids. So like, obviously I couldn't hit it farther than them. I was 30, 40 yards behind them, but I still managed a way to beat them. And it was really all on my short game and putting. And I got away from that for a little bit, which I think kind of hurt me because I started focusing so much on hitting farther and my ball striking. But I'd say from the general standpoint of my whole junior golf career, it was my short game, and my ball striking's gotten a lot better. And I mean, everything is. I feel like everything's just real solid, and I do everything pretty well. So.
Ball striking, though, what you tend to maybe focus on improving, as you go through practice?
Yeah, it's really everything. I mean, I think you can get too much into that because, I mean, if you look at all these tour players, what I learned from playing, for these tour events I did in the last 2 years, you go up and down the range. None of them, I mean, obviously from the sides of Tiger and some of these guys, but like most of them, their swings are all different from each other. They don't hit the ball that good, but they know where it's going. And inside of 100 yards, meaning short game, wedges, putting, is 100% better than 95% of the college players. So that's what really you got to focus on to be at a top level, I think.
And I would assume that that's something that you've learned in playing golf as a junior and now evolving into college was, boy, it is a singular game. I mean, it's all about you and how you really can identify your strengths and apply them.
Exactly, and that's why it's tough with a team atmosphere because sometimes individually you need something different than someone else on the team. And baseball and football, I don't think are quite the same because it's it's a team sport. And golf is so individual, and you have your own needs, and you know how to take care of them, and so it's a lot different.
All right, well, Philip, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I want to thank Philip Francis from joining us from the men's golf team here at UCLA.
And when we return, we will be talking to women's golf after this public service announcement.
A trophy can be made just about anywhere. But there's one place where champions are made. UCLA, champions made here.
And welcome back to UCLA Bruin Talk. Javrina has this week's Athlete of the Week.
This week, we honored Darren Collison of the UCLA men's basketball team as our Student Athlete of the Week. The senior point guard helped the number 7 Bruins to a 2-0 start in the Pac-10 conference play with wins over Oregon State and Oregon. Darren, along with Michael Roll, led the Bruins in scoring with 16 points in their 69-46 win over the Beavers. Against Oregon, Darren took control when the Ducks threatened the Bruins' lead, contributing 22 points and 9 assists. Behind his efforts, the Bruins held on to win the game 83-74. Congratulations, Darren, and good luck to the rest of the UCLA men's basketball team. If you would like additional information for UCLA athletics, you can visit our fan phone line at 310-825-8575 or visit us on our website at www.uclabruins.com.
And the golf discussion continues. We're talking women's golf this segment. We're joined by seniors Ryann O'Toole and Maiya Tanaka. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
Let's go back to last year. You're so close to a national championship, finishing in second place. 2 years ago, third place. How does it feel to finish the season so close and yet not quite get that title?
Well, I think it's exciting actually because we know we have it, and we were so close last year, like second place, third place, second place, so this year has to be a first.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely think it puts pressure. I mean, it takes the pressure off, and in a sense, it allows us to come together with, especially like having us as seniors and allowing us to really take control. And I mean, we have to give it our all. It's our last year, so I mean, it's all or nothing in a sense.
Well, and you have to feel confident going into the spring because in stroke play this fall you were undefeated.
That's true, and hopefully we can keep it that way. I mean, that's our goal. So to go the last 7 events undefeated, that would be amazing.
Being second and third coming in, what are you guys doing differently this season to get the title?
I think, well, having 9 players on our team and having, 9 solid players and constantly pushing each other is going to be a big contribution to, I think, our performance. I think also, because I guess, like, traveling when we're at home and practicing, it's constant tournament, it's constant, fighting to see who's going to be traveling. I think that's one of the biggest points.
Yeah, I think we all pretty much push each other to do well and to work hard and try and earn our spot. So we all want to play, so we all know we have to work hard in order to play. And also, the thing is, we didn't have any people graduate last year, so we have 2 extra people that just make us that much better, because our freshmen are really awesome, and it just makes our team, yeah, we have 9 players for 5 spots, but that's even better, you know, like we'll have 5 really strong players in our top 5. So.
Well, and if you look at the last couple of years, I mean, that's been a big change. It went from maybe 6 players for 5 spots to 7. I mean, now it's really a lot of competition just to be able to make it onto the course.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. So I think it's all going to come down to just how hard we practice, the commitment we put into it, and you know, when it comes down to nationals, it's who's prepared, who shows up, and I think that we really have that.
When you talk about practice, most people would be aware that UCLA doesn't have a golf course, but it doesn't mean you don't have places to practice. There's some pretty great facilities that you're able to practice at all across Southern California.
I agree. I mean, we have 5, 6 courses that we can utilize, I mean, depending on the day, but we always have TPC Valencia. We always have a place to go. We have our on-campus facility that we constantly utilize. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that like, oh, we don't have a place to practice, so we're just not going to practice. I mean, there's somewhere we can go. And I think the girls are really good about that, and that they really put effort. And I mean, even to make the drive 25, 30 minutes to TBC, they're going to do it. So. Well,
and again, that gives you variety in your practicing. It's not like you're getting used to one course. There's all sorts of variety in challenges, and that's just like playing in tournaments.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool, like the quality of courses we get to play too. Like we get to play Bel Air, Brentwood, Wilshire, and Hillcrest all the time, like every week. So it's really cool to be able to have those, to have access to those courses too.
Ryann, do you think you could tell us a little bit about what your personal schedule is like with golf?
Yeah. Well, for the most part, we're all pretty much on the same schedule, especially during season. You know, Monday through Friday we have practice anywhere from 2.5 to 5 hours. It just depends on what we're doing. I mean, with the time change right now and like it getting dark at 5:30, I mean, on Tuesdays, Thursdays we can only practice till then, so it's about 3.5 hours. But when the sun starts staying out longer, like we'll be out there till 7:30 sometimes. I mean, and on the weekends, I mean, we'll be out there for a good 5, 6 hours. I mean, it's just all. I mean, we put out so much effort, and then on top of that, you have your workouts.
So when you're practicing, what is it that you're practicing? Is it more playing time or actual, like what is your practice like, those 5 hours?
When it comes close to like tournaments and getting prepared for tournaments, the last week usually you just want to play. You just want to get out on the course and play, whether it be 9 holes or 18. You try to get out 18, but I mean, sometimes you can't. So you may go warm up, hit balls, chip, putt, and then go play 9. And then come back in and work on what you need to work on. Or you can go, you know, play 18 holes. And usually 18 holes takes around 4 to 5 hours. So, but if we're just like a standard practice, like Monday mornings are on campus. Like we spend 3.5 hours hitting balls and chipping and putting, working on pitch shots anywhere, working on distance control within 100 yards. So really fine tuning your swing.
Well, people probably don't realize that when you're using a facility like that, the intramural fields become a driving range.
Yeah.
I know.
We just open up the gates and we just hit onto the field. Hopefully there's nobody playing soccer or anything in the corners.
Well, let's go back a couple years. Talk about how you started playing golf. Maiya, how did you get started playing the game?
It was interesting, actually. I had no interest for the game. I was more of like a basketball, soccer type of girl, like a little tomboy. But my brother was getting lessons, and then he was sick one day, and my dad took me out, and I picked it up like right away, pretty much. And then within my first year of playing tournaments and everything, I was shooting close to even par and winning tournaments. So I peaked really early.
and Ryann, you didn't start quite so early as a player, did you?
No, I started when I was 13. So same as like she said, I was a total little tomboy. Played every board sport, surfing, was on club basketball, softball, and was majorly heavily into that. And just went to a junior golf lesson one day, $5 with like 30 kids, and loved it. I mean, so from then on, I went home and I was like, Mom, Dad, I got to play golf. and they thought I was crazy. Like you like every sport, and I was like, no, I gotta play.
Yeah, did you get the free club that they give you? Like, you know, they give you like the one like cut down. Like,
yeah, like the little,
club.
and I'm like, okay, I got one. I was like, but I need more. So
yeah,
pretty soon I had like half a set. You know, they got me every other iron, and then worked up from there.
Yeah.
And it's not like you play while you're in school. You spend the entire summer in amateur competitions of various types, but you're playing golf year-round, whether it's for the school or in amateur competitions.
Exactly. I mean, there's no break. Like any other sport, they're like, okay, this is off season. Like we don't have to touch basketball, we don't have to touch soccer, anything. But we're like, oh, we take off 2 weeks, and that's our max. I mean, you come back and you feel the difference. I mean, you take off 2 days and you feel that your touch is a little off. You constantly have to be practicing. I mean, it's not like, oh, coach doesn't have practice today. Well, it's like, well, I still have to go practice. It's set your own hours. It's all left up to you. So it's really, it's on your shoulders. It's up to, you just have to do it.
Yeah, it's really individual sport. So pretty much, like you're going to perform how you practice and how much work you put into it. So that's kind of good in the sense that like your hard work is going to be put into like the results that you get, and it's kind of on you. It's not really like your team. You don't have somebody else messing you up there. It's like your own little game. So
Maiya, at Mira Vista, you started the golf team. So you coach and you played. How did you do that? How did you start the golf team at your high school? That's pretty impressive.
It's actually Mira Mesa High School, but it's cool. I actually had an older sister, so it was really cool because she was able to help me out with that a lot. We were on the boys team my freshman year, and that was her junior year, and I made it to CIFs, and they actually didn't let me play because I was a girl. So making it that far, it's kind of sucked that I didn't get to play at that level of competition just because of my gender. So the next year we figured out, like, got our friends out there and took them to the driving range over summer, kind of prepped them a little bit, and then kind of just like put together what we could with the help of one of our high school teachers and coaches. He was like my math teacher. His name was Roy Van Grove, and he just he kind of took over as like coach for us, and he just recruited people from classes and stuff like that, and we just kind of put together this group of girls who had never before seen a golf club before, and just kind of started a little golf team, and we ended up making it to CIF and everything, so it was really cool, and they still are doing pretty well. So
I would imagine that, I mean, you got to see kind of, those first swing type looks from some of the new teammates that are just picking up the game. Is like, and they got bit by the bug, and you got to see that in their faces too when that happened.
Yeah, it's really cool because I don't think most of these girls would ever even be exposed to golf, or I'm not from a big golf area. I'm not really a country club kid at all. So it's just really cool to be able to introduce a bunch of different girls to a sport they otherwise wouldn't have tried, I guess. And it's a sport I love, so just being able to share that is really cool.
Well, talk about, you mentioned, that there's no off season and all the work you go in. What do you do to keep your game in shape? I mean, obviously you can go play. Obviously people know that you can go and hit balls at a driving range, but there's a lot more to staying at the level that you play at than just banging balls and going out and playing golf on the course.
Well, I guess like this. Like everyone always thinks like golf is not like very like athletic sport, or you don't have to work out. I mean, like granted, like you don't necessarily have to. You can definitely get by, but the stronger ones, the better ones, the ones that rise on top are the ones that put in effort off the golf course. I mean, there's two ways to look at it. There's a mental aspect and there's a physical aspect. And our team's constantly in the gym. We're in the gym 5 days a week. We run sprints 2 days a week, and we lift 3 days a week. So we're constantly working out. And I know even on the weekends, some girls are continual. So I mean, you work out 6-7 days a week. And I mean, it goes from strength. I mean, they're squatting anywhere from 140 to back squats, and then a bench press. I mean, it's 80 pounds. I mean, they look at us like, golfers are picking up the 35, 40-pound dumbbells, and like the football players, like, what are they doing? Like,
yeah, we're fighting with the football players over the weights.
Yeah, like we need to use these real fast.
Yeah.
So I mean, and for us, like yesterday, like we had to run sprints. We had 16 100-yarders. I mean, that's welcome back to season. Like, golfers running.
Well, real quick, let's talk about your both best memory. You're seniors now. You so far have gone through 3.5 years here at UCLA. What's your best memory here on campus?
Best memory? I think I think there's a lot of memories that tie into the team. I think having a team and being close, like especially having on a small team, like we're all best friends. We all hang out. We go to dinner together. I mean, it's nice. There's no like little cliques on the team, and it keeps us like just one little unit. And I think that's the best thing. And like to like point out one, single memory, I can't. There's so many that go into it.
We all get along really great, and it's just really awesome just to have like a team like that, I guess. So like as far as like the memory goes, it'll probably just be like the team in general. It's just the sense of community that we have and the sense of like love for each other that we share. So I think it's just really cool thing to be on, because I'm a walk-on, so I didn't get to play my first 2 years here. So I kind of know what it's like to be like regular student versus like student athlete, and just everything about being a student athlete is like really cool, and I cherish it so much. Like I'm really sad to go. Like I extended it as long as I could, being a 5th year and everything, but I'd be really sad to go when I have to.
Maiya, Ryann, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to thank Ryann O'Toole, Maiya Tanaka for joining us, as well as Philip Francis from last segment. And for Javrina Seferi, I'm Ralph Irvin. This has been UCLA Bruin Talk. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.